Hello everybody and welcome back to another sunny day in Colorado. I'm Chase.
And I'm Joby.
That is the 2024 BMW i5 eDrive40 and this is the Overrun.
As Chase just mentioned, this is the 2024 BMW i5 eDrive40. Thank God I finally got that name out. Anyways, this is obviously one of the electrified versions of the all-new, fully redesigned BMW 5 Series. Now, of course, there are regular internal combustion engine variants of the 5 Series, but for today's video, we're going to be focusing on the electrified version, specifically this one, but there's also the more performance-oriented i5 M60, which produces like 590 horsepower and a bajillion pound-feet of torque or newton meters, whatever part of the world you're from. But yeah, this is the eDrive40 and we're going to be reviewing it and telling you all about it in today's video.
Now, as you can tell, there's really nothing here because this is an electric car, and it's an electric car that makes 335 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Now, it does all that through a single-speed direct drive transmission to exclusively the rear wheels. Now, it also has 295 miles of range, or at least that's what Edmunds tested it at. The EPA figure is a little lower. It's around 270 miles, and that's about it.
Okay, let's take a few minutes to talk about design. Obviously, BMW's overall design language has been quite controversial. Luckily, at least in my opinion, they didn't absolutely destroy the 5 Series, and it actually follows a lot of the same traditional design that we've seen from BMW over the years. You have obviously the kidney grille up here for the electric version. It's mostly solid through here. You have a parking sensor, but then you have this gaping hole in the bottom.
These also open for cooling and or various other purposes. I don't know, maybe if you want to put a snack in there.
Yeah, I don't know, if you want to have a little snack. But anyways, the really cool part about this car specifically is the Cape York green metallic. I don't know how well it shows through on camera, but this is an absolutely fantastic color.
It's really great when you catch it, you catch the light right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then this car also has the 21-inch wheels as well.
The BMW individual wheels.
Yeah, the very specific. And it has the M Sport package, which means you get the painted brake calipers.
Yeah, brakes, suspension, steering wheel.
Yeah. So anyways, overall, I think the design is very good. They've obviously added some more modern touches like these recessed door handles, which is of course great for an EV.
Or when you need to lock the car, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't realize that, sorry. But yeah. And
well, you can open it because I want to show the people something.
Oh, sure.
There's little, like, I'm convinced they just put this stuff in here for Doug. There's a little 5 here, and then there's another little 5 here. Yeah. But that interestingly means only 4 5s on the 5 Series.
Yeah, one other thing while we're actually here, there's actually a light. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's actually right here, and it's an LED light that at night when you open the door, it illuminates the ground.
What a weird solution to puddle lighting.
Yeah, it doesn't have a logo or anything like you would see on some other luxury cars, but
everybody say hi to the A-line.
Yeah, say hi to the train. Anyways, it does light up. Anyways, moving on to the back.
There's still a Hofmeister kink, even though it's plastic now, which is, there's no there's no real kink in the glass. You see what I mean? The glass is that the kink really comes from the plastic.
Yeah. Moving on to the back, it's fairly similar. Obviously, there's no tailpipes here because
I think it looks very electric from the back.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't really have anything negative to say about it, but I also
It has the same little vertical lighty things as the M2.
As the M2, yeah. So it's obviously just been updated for their whole modern design.
You know what I did just notice though? Look at this.
What?
You see these little cutouts for the exhaust?
Oh yeah.
That is not here.
So they're using
Sorry,
the same...
I think I've just ruined the new electric 5 Series for everyone.
Yeah, so they've used the same bumper.
The key detection is very good.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, it really knows how far away or how close you are. Oh, there we go.
Take another step back, maybe it'll lock.
Yeah, let's see. Probably. Huh?
No.
Oh, there it is.
4 steps.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably a good 15 feet from the car.
Anyways, it's an electric 5 Series and it looks like it, huh?
Yeah, this is what it looks like. I think overall it's a pretty good looking car.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
But let's take a look at the interior to see exactly how good that is. We're now in the interior. Well, not yet, but we will be here momentarily. Anyways, sitting into the i5, let's talk about the doors. First on the doors is the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which is in this nice aluminum or some sort of metal. And then there's some carbon fiber bits in this. And then most importantly, and you'll see this in the rest of the interior, but there's these little strips of light. It was same in the 7 Series as well. Super nice. You can change the colors to a number of them, but you can't have like a gamer RGB setup in the car. It's only one static color or whatever. But anyways, that's okay. But let's actually get into the car. And the first thing I want to touch on is the steering wheel. It's of course leather wrapped, and with the M Sport package, we have a little M badge here, and it's also a flat bottomed steering wheel. But the steering wheel is really thick, which can make it hard to grip at times.
Very BMW.
Very, very BMW. But yeah, all of the buttons here on the side, for the most part, are all capacitive, so they're not, I don't know.
It's also piano black, which like, dude,
yes,
come on.
Very piano black. Which
it looks super gross. Let's see if we can make it look really gross in the sun.
Probably. You can see all the little like hairs or dust or whatever.
Head on the
okay, thank you. I'm trying to be serious and you're not helping. Anyways, the other thing I wanted to touch on, which we also did in the 7 Series, but right here is how you control the actual fans coming out, so you can open and close the vent. It's all capacitive, which I don't love. I think
that's also how you can get to like various settings too. Like you can go to the light settings in the infotainment with this, or you can like, this is the seat settings button.
Yeah.
Pulls up the corresponding screen.
But almost everything, you know, from a touch functionality in this car is capacitive, which I kind of like, but I kind of hate. I love it in the sense that
I just straight hate it. I think it's bad.
Okay, but here's the thing. BMWs have been notorious for having their plastics chip over a long period of time. With
this
the
is the
capacitive
solution.
stuff, that doesn't happen. It just scratches the acrylic.
So
that
what
they
does
put it
happen
on.
in 20 years?
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It just breaks.
It just
That's
breaks.
it.
It just stops working. But yeah, a lot of the interior in here is very, very similar to the 7 Series, so we're not going to dive too much into that.
Yeah, we also talked about it at length in the 2 Series.
In the M2, yeah. iDrive 8 is still
kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's good in some sections, but also very overly complex in a lot of ways.
Show them the climate screen, because that's probably the worst part.
So if we open up our little climate controls, you can see
it's just a smorgasbord.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just weird. I don't know.
It's overwhelming. It's a lot of stuff that you don't need to mess with, but you still have to use a touch button to change the temperature. I guess you can tell the car to do it for you, which is. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I tried to really use the voice assistant because I figure that's going to be their argument when I say it's not good.
Yeah.
Neither is the voice assistant.
Yeah, exactly. And one other thing too, when you have music playing, so this display you can like do different hand gestures, whatever, which is the dumbest gimmick. I really don't like it. But also, if you don't use it and you use the little physical, capacitive buttons here in the
there is a physical scroll wheel for the volume.
There is, but if you use like the next track button or something, it will tell you to just use the gestures every single time, which is super annoying. And I dug through the menus, to be admittedly not that much, but I did try to dig through them to see if I could turn that off, and I couldn't find anything. It might be so.
Credit where it's due. Over the last, I don't know, 5 years, their gesture controls have gotten much better. Like doing this actually does move the track. You can do the volume like this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a mixed
I will
bag.
also, like, I talk with my hands a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not just hamming it up for YouTube, and like, you'll be talking to a passenger and like, boop, skip track.
Yeah.
It's super annoying.
But overall, it's a very nice interior. The seats are pretty comfortable. I wish the bolsters were a little bit better, just for some of the performance driving. But in general, this interior is very nice. The build quality is great.
So that's that. Have you moved the seat from your driving position? Did you move it when you got it?
I moved it closer.
You moved it closer, so there's going to be more room because you're shorter than me.
I am not shorter than you. Oh my God. Stop it.
I have pretty good room though.
Yeah.
I feel like I have really great room. This doesn't feel like it's going to like break if I put my weight on it, this armrest. There's a little charger here. These are like little hangers, so you can like insert a little attachment thing and like put an iPad
I had it
back
in
here,
the 7 Series too,
back
right?
here for your kid. Yeah. The 7 Series had it. You can put an iPad back there for your kids. So there's 4 USB-C ports.
And there's a huge aluminum panel for the giant
for the speakers, which are also illuminated, this car looks really cool at night. I wish we had some footage to show you of that, but we just don't have time with the car right now. There's really no drop in material quality back here. Again, I feel like I have tons of room.
How much headroom do you have?
I have really good headroom. There's
Yeah.
also, I don't know if you can see it because it's black, but there's a little bit of a cutout that starts here.
Yeah.
So even taller people should have some pretty decent room. I mean, if I were 4 inches taller, I would probably be like,
Yeah,
right
if you were actually 5'8".
Sure. Whatever. I'm just a tricksy little hobbit. I'm just a little guy. Okay. I'm just a little guy. There's good room, man. And these also fold down.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that a bit more when we get to cargo, but it's really nice back
We can
here.
do cargo right now. Let's see it.
Let's just do it. But yeah,
We
one
can-
take, baby.
Oh, real quick too. This is a really flattering angle of me, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
What,
there's a button right on the key fob, and this actually has a power tailgate, which is cool.
Yeah, or you can open it with your foot. So if you do one.
Oh,
of
you
these-
can?
Yeah. If your
Oh.
hands are full, you can
Hang on,
kind of.
shut it real quick because I want to see it.
Okay.
Because I actually haven't seen that yet.
So it also obviously is power close. Standard,
Nice,
by the way.
nice.
And then let's see if it'll do it. Do you need to give me the key?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm right here.
Give me a key.
Yeah, dance. That'll help.
Even if you can it won't.
All right, well, just open it and we can see what's in there. It's a pretty good sized trunk though.
It is a good sized trunk. I mean, it's a big executive sedan. There's a lot of room. I love that BMW has this feature. You pull that and it will unlatch the seat.
Nice.
And which is super nice. There's really nothing else back here. I think there might be some underfloor storage for like the charging stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
Which is actually really deep. If you take all the charging crap out of here,
Yeah, and take out the New Jersey plate.
there's a lot of room.
Yeah, it's probably a good
Foot.
yeah. Foot deep. No full-size spare
Anyways,
though.
let's go drive it.
All right, folks, it's time for my drive impressions of the BMW i5 E40. Overall, I really do like this car for a number of reasons. One, I think the interior is super nice. The build quality in here is great. It's super, super quiet in this interior, which is definitely not something that you can say about some of the less expensive EVs on the market, namely the Ioniq 6 that we tested. It's pretty on par with the GV60, I would say. But overall, it's a really quiet and very smooth experience in here. The suspension tuning is great. Super, super good for highway driving or just city driving in general. You're not feeling a lot of bumps, so you definitely get a lot of that BMW luxury. Some of that we experienced in our 760 review, if you check that out. You know, so it's obviously not as smooth as that, but it's still very, very good. Now, let's talk about the driving dynamics, you know, when you're trying to go a little bit sporty. Obviously, this is not the M60 version, this is the E40, so this is not really the performance variant of the i5 or, you know, electrified 5 Series. But you can drive it very fast. Now, the big thing that I want to really hammer home here, at least in mine, I'm sure Chase will touch on it a little bit as well, but the weight of the car, especially when you're going through corners, it lacks a lot of, because of the weight transfer. If you're going at any significant speed, it really feels like you're having to, I don't know, just really grip the steering wheel and hold on. I don't know, it just doesn't feel super confidence inspiring, and maybe I'm doing a really poor job of explaining that. Maybe once Chase and I start going faster here, I'll be able to show that to you in real time. But like, see, through these corners, I'm really having to turn in, and these seats are not super well bolstered for this kind of driving, which is fine for the most part until you do this type of driving. But yeah, I don't know. I think that, you know, the performance is definitely there, even in this E40. I mean, this has 300 and something horsepower. I know we probably mentioned it earlier in the video, but there's definitely a lot of power there, especially torque, of course, with this being an EV. And so I just wish there was a little bit more confidence inspiring suspension for performance oriented driving. Now, I don't think it's bad at all by any means, but I think it could be a little bit better. Now, let's talk about steering feel, since we're kind of on the overall suspension and handling aspect of this. There's absolutely no feel through the steering wheel at all. I mean, absolutely none. I have no idea what the wheels are doing, especially when you're doing these tight turns like this. The problem is I can't really tell whether the car is starting to lose grip at all. And that's pretty common with a lot of EVs. It's not really unique to the i5 or, you know, it's very standard across a lot of EVs. It's just because of how they choose to do stuff, and how automakers choose to build them. But, you know, it does steer, obviously. It moves and, and changes direction. But yeah, overall, I do really like the driving experience in here. It's very, very smooth, super great for highway driving and city driving. All the assists work flawlessly. I don't really have any notes there. The adaptive cruise control is super smooth. And yeah, that is what I have to think about the driving experience in the i5 E40.
This is my first time driving the i5 in anger, and that's already just such an illegal number. So how does the least sporty new 5 Series drive when you want to drive it like a BMW? Oop, turkey. It does not drive like a turkey. There's just one in the road. You know, it's a big, heavy electric car. The big advantage to this thing is being able to just get out of the hole quick. You can really, really load the car up in the corner, and then you just kind of have to wait until you can point it straight and nail it like that. And once you do, you're, you know, doubling the limit by the time you fully depress the throttle on this tight little back road. There's just zero feel from the steering. Unfortunately, I don't know if Jobe has already mentioned that. We're filming our impressions separately because we've got 2 cars today. You know, it feels really nice and neutral in the corners though. I cannot tell for the life of me what the front end of the car is doing, because I have no sense of where the wheels are. That's my biggest gripe thus far, aside from, of course, the fact that there's only so much you can really do about the weight of a car like this, you know? This is a really, really big, heavy car. I don't know if Jobe has given you guys the number, but it probably starts with a 4 or a 5. I mean, it's just massive. Luckily, it's not massive dimensionally, and I still feel like I have a little bit of room on this piece of back road that we're on right now. You know, and I can feel the bolsters holding me pretty decently, but there's really no lower leg support. It's a lot like the seats in my Porsche. They're kind of flat. I don't have a lot of complaints about how this drives, but it's also certainly not fun to drive on a back road. Like I'm I guess entertained enough. These eco tires just have no grip. I would imagine that this would probably be a little bit more fun the more grip you have, because you can use, excuse me, use more of the power. It's fun with less grip too. I think that my favorite part of the driving experience actually is in no way related to the way this goes around a corner. I'm a huge sucker for the boost paddle. If I pull this, I have 10 seconds of just maximum kill mode here, and that's double the limit. This thing only has 330 odd horsepower, but it really feels like it's got a lot more because of the electric motors. So it's okay to drive, you know, like this. I think if you want to drive an electric 5 Series like this, you really do just need to spend the extra money. It's my hope that the M60 with all 590 of its electric horsepower is a little more engaging, especially the steering, because my God, is it just abhorrent. I mean, I have more feedback out of my sim rig at home. But enough of the fast stuff. Let's talk about how I think this drives on the road. That's really where this car is at home, to be quite frank with you. It feels so nice, so composed. It's nice to drive something that is, and I can't believe I'm saying this about a giant heavy electric sedan, but it's nice to drive something that feels small on the road. And the 5 Series really manages to shrink around you on the road, both on the back roads and on the highway. I feel like I have a lot of room in the lane here and on the highway. I feel like the ADAS is really great. We've talked about BMW's ADAS at length in our 7 Series review, so if you want to know more about it, you can go, excuse me, go watch that video. But Cliff Notes version, it's very good. It'll go down to 0 and restart, etc. The adaptive cruise control, that is. There's really nothing wrong with the way it drives in any way on the road. It drives really, really, really nicely on the road. It's composed, it's quiet, the ride is phenomenal in all of its various modes. I'm in sport mode right now, and this is still a very comfortable car. Now, with that said, I think that it is time to wrap this boy up and finish the rest of our video.
Okay. For the
It's ready to go. It's like a
It's ready to be.
As soon as it's ready, you're ready.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Obviously, we've talked about a lot, the 5 Series in general, and then obviously the electrified E40, iDrive something. This is not iDrive, I'm sorry.
40?
What?
40?
E4, eDrive 40.
E46.
No.
I just want that car back.
Anyways, but yeah, what do you think, Chase?
I think it's a really good 5 Series. I mean, like, it literally just, this is kind of what I think the ethos for when you offer a combustion powertrain and an electric or hybridized powertrain in conjunction with that. I think this is the way to do it. This is just a 5 Series that happens to have an electric motor. It's not an electric 5 Series. This doesn't feel like an I Series model. It just feels like a 5 Series, man.
Yeah, they didn't try to reinvent the wheel when they wanted to introduce an electric model.
No, I think that, and Mercedes notably very much did.
Yeah, they went the opposite direction.
It didn't go so well for them. A lot of people didn't like the EQS. I thought it was okay, you know, but a lot of the electrified Mercedes models get some, I think, deserved flack for being what they are. This is just a BMW that happens to be electric, and I think that there's a lot to like there.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I really loved driving this thing. The driving experience in general around town on the highways is really, really good. I like the styling. I think, at least from BMW's recent sort of design problems and issues, I think that this actually looks really, really good.
It looks modern, but it still looks like a BMW.
Yeah, and it also, like I said just a second ago, they didn't try to reinvent the wheel. It still looks like a 5 Series, and I think it's great. This paint obviously helps a lot, but
and then one more time, what was the money on this again?
It was $77,400 with delivery.
$77,400.
Yeah.
Probably paint.
We had paint, the M Sport package, and a premium package, which came with some like extra LED lighting and some stuff in the interior. But
you could probably do this for $75,000 if you didn't want the M Sport. Frankly, I don't really feel like it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's not like,
it's mostly an appearance package.
To the driving experience for me.
Yeah.
I guess the bigger brakes are nice because these already felt like they were stopping a lot of weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for $75,000-ish, if you want a nice electric toaster to go to work in, man, like,
this is a pretty nice appliance.
This is pretty good until someone else has another answer that isn't a Mercedes.
This is good.
Very nice.
This will be very good.
Very nice.
It's a good appliance.
All right, well, with that in mind, thank you so much for watching, and once again, please do remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I know notifications are annoying, but it does mean that we get to be here doing this for you. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.